cities are brilliant. Ed Glazer, the Harvard economist, says that cities are humanity's greatest innovation. They are engines of prosperity and productivity, and the research shows that the more people get together, the more great ideas happen, new relationships are formed, ideas and innovations spread. And the research shows that doubling the population of a city delivers a 130% increase in productivity. So in the Western world, where productivity is pretty stagnant, this is really important, and our cities are an important, a vital component of delivering productivity and prosperity to all of us. However, if you don't densify, if you don't manage your cities well, that creates problems. So, congestion, air quality, stressed access to resources and infrastructure, these are kind of familiar challenges that anyone living in the city might have. So a quick sort of taster of what that might look like, some factoids that you may or may not have come across before. Some research that Hewlett-Packard did found that peak hour commuters experience higher levels of stress than fighter pilots or riot police facing protesters. And of course, the time it takes after you've arrived at work, having traveled through that to detoxify your brain, is time that you're not being very productive. And likewise, at the end of the day, the time it takes to relax and de-stress impacts our social relationships as well. So other research from Scandinavia, so I don't know how transferable it is, but shows that long commutes have a correlation with divorce rates. So you're more likely to be divorced because, again, sort of hypothetically, because those social ties are weakened. Your ability to spend time with your other half and with your community deteriorates, and so those relationships are less likely to be maintained. And indeed, this leads through into a wider problem of social well-being and the well-being and the health, emotionally, physically, and mentally of our cities and our citizens. People feeling disconnected because urban living creates this environment in which we struggle to maintain connections. Now, technology is part of the solution. The city itself is a technology. The very fact that none of you here, I presume, works the land and has to, can adopt all sorts of other trades and professions is in itself a technology. Through history, bridges and aqueducts, more recently, streetlights and sewers and transport systems and skyscrapers. These are all technologies that have been innovated in and adopted by cities. They've been catalyzed by the demand, by the need to host and accommodate more and more people and manage their needs in a close urban environment. And the challenge we have is that today, when we talk about urban innovation and we talk about the application of technology to urban challenges, we often find ourselves having conversations that can be sort of summarized by this image, the ubiquitous sort of smart city. It's always night. There's always sort of light trails from cars and probably flying cars in there somewhere. It's blue. But actually, that's not really what we here in this organization, and I think many of you think about when you think about the kind of cities, the kind of future cities that we want to inhabit. Actually, we think this is more like the kind of future city technology which makes living in urban environments better. So many of you would have used Citymapper or another navigatory aid to arrive here this evening to work out how to come to this place you've never come to before. This is a much more grounded, much more tangible, much more human-centered idea of what, how technology can be applied to the lived experience of cities. And that really is the role that we have here at Future Cities Catapult. We're one of 10 government-backed innovation centres tasked with growing the UK economy and helping companies like those you'll meet later this evening to take advantage of the opportunities of urbanisation and to develop the products and services needed by cities and by citizens to make urban living better, more efficient, more enjoyable, and then to sell those to the global market. Oh, there we are. That's our mission, to help business develop innovative products and services needed by cities and help sell them to the world. And so we have an unofficial patron saint. Many of you will have come across him, Cedric Price, architect from the 70s, who said, technology is the answer, but what's the question? And so at the Catapult, we're really, really, really interested in asking the human question. What what is the opportunity, what is the need, what is the user need, what is the human scale challenge and problem that needs solving, and start there before we start trying to apply the technology and sort of crowbar that in.